Hey everybody, this is just a quick video to show some of the things that I talked about on my blog post. If you've come to this video not via my blog post, I'll be linking to it in the text below so you can read more about what I'm talking about here, and hopefully it'll make a bit more sense. But essentially what I wanted to do was show some of the dev tools that relate to working with progressive web apps. And to be clear, these are just the things that I am playing with right now. There's more in here and you can go deeper and all that, but these are just things that I've used so far that have been useful. So first off, if you have trouble finding some of these tools, you want to look in the application tab. And don't forget that Chrome lets you organize, or I should say rearrange the tabs so yours may be in a different position. First thing you'll notice is the app manifest tab, and this shows you all kind of nice, useful information. It's a great way to make sure that you name things right in your JSON file, and you can actually see the icons being used. You have a link to load the source for the manifest file. You also have a link for the start URL, which is pretty cool because you may have custom JavaScript that says, if I detect that I launched via the home screen, do something different. So I can click there and test to see if that's working. Speaking of the home screen, if I click this, it will not force the app to install to home screen. Essentially, it will prepare it to do so. And if I reload again, it will prompt if I've done everything I need to. So for example, in this other PWA, or not PWA I should say, if I try it, I will get an error. And in this case, it's just one error. That 404 is not important. But you see it says I'm not on a secure origin. If I switch to HTTPS and try it again, we will say the page is not, let me reload again and get rid of this and reload and try one more time. And that's interesting. So it should be showing me a different error because I definitely don't have everything I need to in here. But what I will point out is that it'll only show one error at a time. So if you have multiple errors, like in this case, there's no service worker, it'll only show one error at a time. So that's a broken one. In this case, it's not broken, and it did prompt immediately. Normally you have to reload, and this is what it looks like on desktop. I can click add, and it'll actually add it to my desktop, and actually makes an icon, which is pretty cool. But that is the app manifest stuff. The service worker tab will tell you about the service worker. It'll tell you about its current life cycle. In this case, we could see it's activated and running. The big thing I'll point out is the update on reload. When you're working with PWAs, you definitely want this turned on so you don't have to deal with the life cycle issues. Note that I'm using Canary, and Canary has added support for testing push and sync. Mainline Chrome does not have that yet. I haven't played with this yet, so but it is pretty cool, and I like that the DevTools have some support in there for working with it. Another thing I'll point out, if you're doing caching with a service worker, you can go in cache storage, and you could see your named cached and all the items in there. And clicking each one allows you to kind of view it and see what's in there, even for graphics. You can also right click to refresh or delete. And if you don't see your cache here, right click on the root and do refresh caches. And that's it for that. The last thing I'll point out is the Lighthouse audit. It's under the audits tab. Obviously, you can do perform an audit, and one of them is for progressive web apps. So I could run that, and it's going to do a bunch of stuff. And when it's done, it gives me a really nice report of what I've done right and what I've done wrong. How long it takes really depends on, I guess, how big your application is and just how fast your machine is. And that's pretty much it. I was going to wait to see if this ended, but I'm noticing it's prompting for that, and that could be a bug in Lighthouse. That it's yeah, I wonder if that's a bug where it couldn't continue until I actually answered that. But you could see it had 3 failed and 8 passed audits, so that's pretty good, and I could work on this to make my application better. Anyway, hope this is helpful, and let me know if you have any questions.